Welcome back for episode 2 of Hanging with the Howards. That's right, the Howards. I'm Brian.
I'm Tish.
And on this episode, obviously, first of all, we want to thank you for tuning in and watching our very first pilot episode, that is, of Hanging with the Howards. And for this second episode, we are actually going to delve into our first dates a little bit, and we can just kind of roll from there. So, Tish, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Oh, me?
Uh,
Okay.
Why not?
Well, I guess we'll take it back first to for when we first met, which was at 3 a.m. It was technically on a Thursday.
Can I stop you for a second, folks? Just a reminder, though. Nothing good happens after midnight, except for this.
Except for this.
Except for this, because God was watching
This
over.
was
But again, just as a reminder, nothing good happens after midnight.
so continuing on. So at 3 a.m. we met at 3 a.m. on technically on a Thursday morning. I believe it was August 25th. If I'm not mistaken.
Man,
Okay, I know dates.
she got the days, man.
So August 25th, that was the early Thursday morning. So basically, I don't, to be honest, I don't even remember working. I know I went to work. I know I worked. I know I saw my patients. I did my job. However, we literally texted all day long.
All day,
Thursday.
yes.
Okay. All day long until that night. And then we FaceTime
All night
all
long.
night long for about, I think you had an event. So we didn't really even start, I think, until like maybe 9 something, 10 something. It was like 1 something when we got off that first night. And I will say, and I didn't tell him this when it first happened, but after our first conversation, and I'm going to tear up, I need to stop. Okay. After our first FaceTime that Thursday night, I literally cried because I said, "This is my husband." After our first FaceTime conversation, I'll never forget it. And I was like, "What in the world is going on with me?" But I did. I cried. I was like, "This is it. This is who I've been praying for years. This is the answer to my prayer." After our first FaceTime, and
You tearing up
I
right now?
am, but actually, I'm getting off course here. But I have to tell this part too. In 2000, I dream. I have dreams. And so when I have dreams, I write them down. When they're vivid, I write them down. And then I go back and read them, a little bit later on to see how it actually, kind of played out or whatever. So like in 2017, I had a dream that I was like with this other couple, but there was this guy there that I didn't know, but we were just like, we were just doing this kind of flirting around, just laughing, enjoying each other. And I remember writing down that, this is how I want to feel, when I meet uh, the person out that I'm supposed to be with. This is how I want to feel. This was such a good feeling. It was so lighthearted. And I think his name was Brian. Now, this was 2017. Okay. We met in 2022.
Was it a wire or not?
Listen, whatever. That's an inside joke. But I think I actually spelled it with the I in my
Okay,
dream.
there we go.
On my journal. So anyway, but when I began the dating process, it didn't even come to mind, so I didn't even think about that dream until after, we had met and after, we had started the relationship. Um, but anyway, I just want to throw that in to let you know that if you pray about things and wait, that was what 5 years,
Absolutely.
5 years earlier that I had that dream about how I felt. I remember writing. It was such a good feeling that I had when I was with this person. We just laughed and just everything. It just felt good. So It took 5 years for that to happen, but it goes to show you once again that if you're patient, don't settle, wait, it's coming. It's definitely coming. So yeah, so we FaceTime that Thursday night. I cried because I knew he was someone, but I didn't want to scare him off. So I didn't tell him that until probably months later. Um, so anyway, we did the exact same thing that Friday. I mean, like I said, once again, I was at work, did my job, but literally texting all day Friday. Um, FaceTime again Friday night, so probably like 1 and 2 o'clock. And during the course of that conversation, we decided to meet.
Yeah, I think for me, I felt like there was this sense of urgency. I don't know if it was God calling or if I was anxious or when you spend time having probably 3 days worth of conversation, whether it's talk, text, FaceTime, um, you get to a point and you haven't met this person in person. Um, you get to a point where you're like, I just want to meet this person. I'm already old enough that I really don't want to waste much time in my life. I felt like in previous relationships, previous marriages, that I did waste some time. And there were things about Tish that I absolutely love. Not just how kind and generous she really is. And let me just tell you, the amount of mail that we get from all over the country about charities is amazing. Um, but she's not just kind and generous, but she had the same values that I was looking for. She had the same goals. She had the same romantic parts of what we were both kind of looking for that we were incredibly missing in previous relationships. Whether it was holding hands or cuddling or just spending time together. Those were things that were obviously missing in previous relationships. So, you know, I wanted to go ahead and meet Tish in person. And so I asked her out. Um, I'm sure I came off a little bit as crazy. Just it was a crazy idea. Hey, we should meet like tomorrow. And again, I was living in Louisiana. She was living in from Arkansas. So we were 2.5 hours from each other, and it was like, all right, well, I don't want to come to, you know, Arkansas and Arkadelphia, Arkansas, and I'm pretty sure you don't want to come to Ruston, Louisiana. So we decided to meet at the halfway point, which is El Dorado, Arkansas. Which, for those out there, El Dorado, Arkansas was the very first place that I called home after graduated college. I worked at a newspaper in El Dorado. So for me to be an hour away, hour and 15 minutes away, that was something special. And then for her, she didn't have to drive, the 2.5 hours. She could drive an hour, hour and a half, or hour and 15 minutes to meet up. So, we designated that, and then it was like, all right, well, let's meet at this one specific place in downtown El Dorado, and we can park our cars and just walk around, or go to the park, or whatever, and just talk. So that was on Friday. Um, and so I think when we both hung up when we ended our FaceTime call, I think we were probably both excited and shocked at the same time. It's probably what I would say. But for me, like the next day, like it was kind of a rush, it was kind of a blur because we had volleyball on the road. So I was waiting for their results. It was a new volleyball coach, so I was waiting on the results, and football was practicing, and at the school I was at, Grambling State, they had a high profile coach, so I had to be at practice, and so I was trying to navigate for me, all right, how do I do all this, shower and still get to El Dorado on time. Because I'm a big stickler, uh,
Yes.
big stickler about being on time. You know,
And
so
I am too.
so um, so for me, like that was incredibly key.
So the day comes. Well, it was on like 2 days that we met. But anyway, Saturday comes. I'm nervous. I don't really know where I'm going. I think I met my cousin. I saw my cousin like on Walmart that morning. I was like, I have a date. It's in El Dorado, and I just remember being so excited. And like I said, I have two daughters, very protective daughters,
Very,
very protective friends and family. So,
very.
yes, so I was monitored, yes, the whole time, pretty much. Got a phone call, had to send pictures, the whole nine. But anyway, so I was so nervous driving there. I was scared I was gonna get lost, which I did, which made me about 5 to 7 minutes late. However, I did, we were on the phone. I was like, hey, I'm trying to find it. I had to make a pit stop. Uh, so I'm trying to find it. So I wasn't too late, but I know I was really nervous because I wanted to make a good first impression. And we had already talked about punctuality and how, he likes things, on time, which I do as well. But I couldn't find the exact area. I was in the area, but I couldn't find exactly where he was. So we he kind of guided me there, and so I made it. I just remember just being so nervous and just pulling up. It's like, oh my gosh, that's him. What are we gonna say? What are we gonna do? But I think everything just kind of flowed. You
Well,
know,
well, I think like for me, that hour drive was probably beneficial. Like
it was horrible. I was sick.
before I even left Ruston, I mean, I stopped and got some roses,
Mhm.
some red roses. So guys, here's a little fancy tip. And you don't gotta spend a lot of money, because it's really the thought that counts. But getting a woman flowers, um, especially on a first date, uh, where you're trying to make a great first impression. And I think that that's what I was trying to do. I guess it lasted a little longer than the first impression, but
It did.
um, but it gave me a time, that hour drive, just to kind of relax my nerves a little bit. So then when she pulled in, and she got out of her vehicle and I got out of mine, I was excited. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, man, this woman is drop dead gorgeous. Man, I was like, wow. And so, we hugged and I gave her flowers, and I think
It was
I
real nice.
I think I won her heart just with that particular piece right there. Just
It
um,
definitely.
but then, we were able to walk a little bit. There was a small park, that had some benches, um, where we were able to talk. And I got eaten up by mosquitoes. Like that, apparently mosquitoes love my legs for some reason. But having the ability to sit down, talk, meet face to face, that was, to me, I felt like it was valuable, and it was well worth the drive. I mean, absolutely worth it. Um, you know, in this particular podcast, you're going to hear a lot of things that are very unconventional, but it just happened to work. Because God continues to bless us. So, um, I felt like sitting there and having conversations that we had already FaceTime, so we had seen each other. Now it was just being together in person.
And I'll never forget. I think we talked for maybe like 2 hours, an hour or so on the bench. Then we decided to take a walk. And I'll never forget, he asked me if he could hold my hand. And it's like I just melted. So, yeah. So we held hands and we're just walking along, past by some restaurants. And I'll never forget, it was this lady. I think it was, I guess, a post office or something that was down there. and she saw us, and she just had like this smile on her face, and she said something to the effect, it's a beautiful night for a walk or something like that. So it's kind of like she could, it's like almost like she could see our connection, even then, just with our first time meeting. Um, so yeah, so we just kind of walked, we held hands, and I just want to throw this in there. Brian is very romantic, and it was on his profile. He is the sweetest. He is so romantic. I'm telling you, ladies, there are still guys out there that will hold your hand, that will open your car door. Those are things that a friend told me. He was like, Tish, no, that stuff is gone. You know, Forget it. Stop looking for somebody that's gonna do that because it's not gonna happen. People don't do that anymore. And I was like, it's gonna happen. It is. It's gonna happen. I said we're gonna cuddle. We're gonna hold hands. We're gonna do all these things. He's gonna open my car doors. It's coming. I know it's coming. I'm not crazy. It's gonna happen. So I'm telling you, there are people, there are men out there or women, whatever your preference is. There are people out there that will still do those things. So don't let anybody tell you that was it chivalry.
Chivalry is
Chivalry
dead.
is dead.
It isn't.
It is not. There are people out there, and that was another part of my first impression of him. Is the first was the roses. Guys, like he said, still do the roses. Just do little things like that. It makes a big, big difference. The roses, the holding hands, opening car doors, opening doors at restaurants. He still does it now to this day. That wasn't just for the dating. He still does it. Roses for no reason, or just he's just very romantic, and that was one of the things that I really do love and admire about him because he is very sweet. But yeah, so we walked down the streets of downtown El Dorado, and just just had a good time, and then we got to Applebee.
Yeah, I just wanna back up for a second. I think that lady that you said was by the post office. I think she's really hitting on me, but I'm just saying. um, nah,
That's what I
but
deal with.
but yeah. So we were both hungry, and so we went to eating good in the neighborhood, Applebee's. If you're listening from somebody at
Oh
Applebee's,
my
that would be a heck of a sponsorship, by the way. You know, I'll be glad to take your gift certificate.
Wow.
Okay.
So this is
But
like 8 o'clock at this time.
8 o'clock,
Wow.
8 o'clock. So we walk in and um, we got seated right away, and the lady comes over. I mean, the waitress comes over right away and asks for our drinks, and like she brings the drinks. She's like, "You guys know what you want to eat?" And I'm not exaggerating. She said it just like that. Okay, guys won't know what you want to eat. So I think one of the things that I truly appreciate from you is you like burgers and I like burgers. So we ordered a burger, right? So our burgers come and like we maybe had taken like 2 bites of our burger, okay, and this server comes right back. You guys want dessert? Man, we just got started on eating our food. Like, what do you mean we want dessert? Like, so I said, I kindly said to her, I don't know yet,
We're
right?
still waiting.
She might have came back like 5 minutes later and asked the same question. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Tish's look sealed it for me right then. She just sealed it. That look, she didn't say nothing. Okay, she let me say it, but like that look, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, that Karen of a waitress. Okay, I don't know her name, but I call her Karen anyway. Okay, but while we had finished eating, Tish leaned over and I put my arm around her, and she put her head on my shoulder, and it just felt right. I felt like it felt
And we, like you said, I put my head on his shoulder. We sat on the same side, like we were in a bench or a booth, not a
right.
bench.
Yeah,
We're in a booth, And so we said it was kind of cool in there. And so I was like, well, let's just kind of sit together. So we've been doing that ever since our first date. Everywhere we go, we try to get a booth so we can sit side by side. And sometimes we get some looks for doing that, but we enjoy it. We enjoy being close.
Well, I think for me, it's very unusual. I've never been in that situation, so um, I'm not saying it's a situation. I just never have had a partner that wanted to be close to me or wanted to sit on the same side of a booth as me. So it was a little bit unusual. But if you're ever in El Dorado, Arkansas, I highly recommend going to Applebee's, eating good in the neighborhood. Applebee's, you better pay me some money for that line, okay? But go see Karen, the server that is. Go see Karen. Um,
If
but
you want to get rushed through your meal.
that's 100%. Hey, she didn't do it just to us though. She did it to other people
And it
too.
wasn't even busy.
No,
It was like,
it's 8 o'clock, 8:30,
yeah,
9 o'clock
it's
at
like
night.
5 other
Yeah.
people in there. And she like, you ready for your ticket? We're like, no, we're still eating. We want to say like go away, but we were nice because we were on our first date. So
Absolutely. Is eating good in the neighborhood? Is that Chili's or Applebee's?
I think that's
Okay, man. I hope I didn't mess it up, but
I don't
I
know.
hope I didn't
Somebody
mess
help
it.
us. Y'all can help us out. Yeah,
Yeah,
let us know which
send
restaurant
us
that
a
is.
send us a comment on that. But again, I'll be glad
Yeah.
to take a 25, 50,
Okay,
$100
getting
gift
back to the
certificate.
date. Getting back to the date.
Anyway, so now we're coming to the end of the date, right? End of the date. I mean, I can't even tell you what time it is.
No. Before we get to the end of the
Oh,
day, so it's like what 9:30 ish,
oh yeah, yeah,
maybe 10.
yeah.
So I get a phone call from one of my friends, like Tish. Do you know what time it is? Now I'm what 40. Well, I'm in my 40s. I won't say exactly how old I am. But anyway, so I get a call from my friends like Tish. Where are you? I said, oh, I'm still, in El Dorado. I'm still on my date. She's like, um, you know what time it is? It's about time for you to be heading home, isn't it? I'm like, it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So though that's the kind of friends that I have. That's the kind of friends you want though. It's the kind of friends and the
Absolutely.
kind of family that's gonna check on you. They knew it was my first date. They're concerned about me. They love me. They just wanted me to be safe. But I thought that was so funny. She was like, Tish, you know what time it is? What you doing? And it's time for you to get on back, start on back home. And so yeah. So it's good to have friends like that. I really appreciate, my friends and my family, checking on me. Because like you said, this is unconventional. So they were all nervous and um, they just wanted me to be safe. So now we're at the end of our day.
Absolutely, and you can always count on great friends. And like they say, like Garth Brooks says, you got friends in low places. And once again, big shout out to Garth Brooks. If
Will
you
you
got
stop it and
tickets
get on to
to Garth Brooks,
it?
I will be
Get
glad to
on
take
to
them. Anyway, no. So
Oh my God.
now we come to the end of our first date, and it can be awkward. I ain't gonna lie to you. Anybody out there, end of the first date is always an opportunity to be a little bit awkward. And for us, I felt like it was good, you know. So I walk her out to her car, and I give her a hug, and then we share our first kiss. And I certainly I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed the first kiss.
Nice.
Um, but at the same time, I was trying to figure out, well, one, does she still like me? And two, okay, well, is this a kiss, like first kiss and then I'll never see you again type kiss, right? And so I felt very good after that first kiss. I know you were um, a little bit, I guess, starstruck a little bit.
Yes. I will say, on my way home, only thing I could think about was, oh my gosh, I just kissed the white. Oh my gosh, did I really just kiss the white guy? I'm
Kiss
telling you,
Casper, didn't
I'm
you?
telling you, y'all. I'm sorry that that's just what just unbelievable for me for some reason. It was a nice kiss, but it was just like the whole like interracial thing. It was so new to me that I was like, oh my goodness, I just did that. I just went on a date and kissed. I just did that. But that was my end of the date impression.
Well,
But it was nice. It was
it it definitely was, and obviously I continue to want to see you more. And I think that per our next episode,
nice.
we
Yes.
are going to delve into long distance relationships and how to navigate
Yes.
I guess struggles or the urgency or the wanting to be
Yeah.
be right next to somebody. So
Yeah. Making that time to be together.
absolutely. So again, thank you for joining us here on episode 2 of Hanging with the Howards. That's right, the Howards. That's
Yes.
right. And again, we thank you, and we hope that you join us again for episode 3. As always, you know, we want to close by saying that we're thankful and that everything is possible and
It's definitely
worth
the
the wait.
wait. See you next time.
Peace.